Welcome back, dear friends, to Living in Abundant Joy. Before we begin today, I'd like to ask you something. How's your heart rewiring going? Have you been practicing gratitude, even in the hard places? When you got the bad news and when the door closed or when you bumped up against the wall, did you pause, breathe, and find the thread of gratitude anyway? If you did, even just once, that's a win. So drop me a note or leave me a comment because I truly love hearing your stories. Today, we're talking about door stoppers, not the rubber wedge kind of door stopper that you might be imagining. This door stopper can either keep a door open or slam it shut. So here's the real question. Is there a door stopper keeping you from walking into heaven's reality right now? You might be thinking, well, of course not, Claudia. I'm a follower of Jesus. I'm saved, and heaven is my home. Yes, beloved, it is. But here's the part that many of us miss. Heaven isn't just your future home. It's your present inheritance. Jesus didn't just open heaven for someday. He opened it for now. Let me take you back to a prayer I used to pray often. Oh God, rend the heavens and come down. You know, that cry for help. That's from Isaiah 64. I prayed it with all my heart until someone with a fresh anointing and a new revelation shared this. Claudia, he already has. Jesus did rend the heavens. He opened the way. He tore the veil. And now the sign flashes open for those who are willing to walk through. And I've spent the years since discovering just how wide and open it is for us who believe. But still, many of us feel stuck, like we're outside the door, peering in, looking for more, longing for more, but unsure how to step fully into the reality we actually possess. For many people, this is a whole new paradigm. It takes time to rewire your thinking and belief map. Some of you may have come from a tradition that teaches we only get to heaven after we die as the reward for living a good Christian life. And if that's you, would you be willing to consider a different perspective? If so, please stay with me and ask God to reveal truth to you. As I began to share my discoveries with other women I mentored, I began to see a common list of barriers. Even among those who wanted to enter in, many just couldn't. So today, when I sat down with the Father to get his idea for this episode, I heard the phrase, door stoppers. Well, I knew it was regarding heaven, but I asked him what some of them were. Here's the list the Father whispered to my heart. Unworthiness, unbelief, disorientation, self-effort, fear, stress, striving, busyness, living unaligned, an atrophied spirit, living by the emotions of your soul, and prayerlessness. Of course, that's not exhaustive, but that's what came to me this morning. These, my friends, are door stoppers, the things we unknowingly wedge under the open door, blocking ourselves from stepping in. And sometimes they're subtle. They even wear the disguise of good intentions. Let me share something personal. The biggest door stoppers I've noticed for me are busyness, striving, and self-effort. I'll be doing the Lord's work, I'd say, serving, building, creating, and somehow I've shut the door in my own face. All the while, Jesus is still there, smiling patiently, arms outstretched. But I'm the one who's too busy to enter in. Or when I do, sometimes it's only to get instruction, not connection. Have you ever said to yourself, but I have work to do. I have to feed my family, or I'm serving at church. I'm doing good things, God things. Sure, God's okay with that, right? Right. Well, of course he is. But ask yourself this. Is he the one who asked you to do it? Or are you carrying a list he never handed you? When I stop and ask him, I'm usually surprised. First of all, he's never in a hurry. Time is not a constraint for him or for heaven. That's a subject for another day. When I finally understood that my hurry was usually fear of not performing well, or fear of not achieving, or fear of not making enough money, I let myself slow down. And boy, does that feel good. I give myself permission to trust him. I hand him all my fears because he doesn't want me carrying them anyway. Then I can walk in peace and at a pace that fosters intimacy. And you know what happens when I do? He often shows me that what I thought was urgent wasn't from him at all. It sounded righteous, but it was fear masquerading as wisdom. I'll give you an example. I have years worth of art, originals, prints, cards, reproductions. So last summer I thought, what a great way to produce income. So I built my online art store twice. I had tech problems, which made me switch from one platform and provider to another. I genuinely believed it would be the gateway to sell prophetic art worldwide. Sounds righteous, right? But as a solopreneur, I'm the IT department, I'm the production team, I'm the marketing department, I'm everything. It was a full-time effort. After all the time and the money, the reward was small. Yes, it's amazing that people can now access my encounter art from anywhere, but honestly, it wasn't the best use of resources. That effort cost me sacred moments with the Lord and with my husband. God wasn't mad at me, and I can make up time with my husband, but I could feel the distance in my spirit, and I knew I had allowed busyness to become a doorstopper. So now I'm learning, slowly, imperfectly, but I'm learning. I ask more. I wait more. I listen. I invite the Father into everything. Last fall, I wanted to restart podcasting after more than 2 years away from it, but I had no energy or real direction or how to do it. Then one day on a walk at the beginning of this year, the Lord said, do the podcast. It was kind of out of nowhere. But because I had waited, I knew the timing was His. So here's a story about listening to God ideas, not just your own, which is hard for someone like me because I'm an idea generator. Ask any of my clients. I've got ideas. I call myself sometimes the idealizer. I've made up a new word, I think. One night I had a dream. I saw a lion, majestic, roaring, sound waves exploding from his mouth. The moment was holy when I woke up. I knew God invited me into something to paint that lion. But I had a problem. I had recently declared that I will never paint lions. It's too cliche, right? Christian art is full of lions, and I didn't know how anyway. So instead, I painted something else. I had been contemplating and working on the Hebrew word kabod, which means glory, that kind of heavy, weighty presence of God. And so I painted what I thought turned out rather beautifully, and I was proud of it. And I was looking at it, admiring it, and I felt like I heard the Lord say to my heart, "That's great. Good job. Well done. But what about that lion?" Oh, man. I knew I had to obey, so I painted the lion. And you know, it was kind of easy and free and fun to do. And wouldn't you know it, it's still one of my best-selling prints. It has ministered to people all over the world. Why? Because it didn't come from a good idea. It came from His heart. When we create or serve from intimacy, heaven breathes on it. That's the difference between Christian art and encounter art. One comes from intellect or scripture or reason, and the other from intimacy. When I paint from that place, I see transformation in me and others. Right now, I'm relaunching the Abundant Joy Mentoring Community. It's a huge project. Planning, tech issues, of course, deadlines. But this time, I didn't rush. I paused to ask, what do you think, Lord? And He's been with me every step. Even when stress rises, which it does, I turn my affection toward Him, and in a moment, I'm connected because I know what it feels like. So I practice that. So I know when I reconnect with Him, I can feel it. And His love washes over me. Even in the doing, I'm learning to be. Sometimes He invites help from unexpected places. Now, this might sound strange, but I believe the cloud of witnesses are alive in God. They cheer us on, and I believe they help carry out the Father's will. I asked the Father to let Bezalel, the spirit-filled artisan of the Old Testament, who designed and crafted the temple according to the Lord's plan, I've asked His help to train and inspire me, and I've sensed it. It's not necromancy. I'm not romancing the dead. I go through Jesus, and I ask the Father. They are not dead. They are very much alive in Him. God doesn't make each generation start over. And we're fulfilling their unfinished mandates. It says that in Hebrews. They want us to succeed. We're not earthbound humans begging heaven anymore. We are supernatural, eternal beings, new creations, invited to live from heaven to earth now. So let me ask you again, what's your doorstopper? Here's the list the Father gave me this morning. You can think about these: unworthiness, unbelief, disorientation, self-effort, fear, stress, striving, busyness, prayerlessness, living unaligned, an atrophied spirit, living by soul emotions instead of spiritual truth. Now take a deep breath. Close your eyes if you can, and ask the Lord what's wedged in your doorway. And imagine it. See if you can see it or sense it. And write it down so you don't forget. And if you need a place to start here with gratitude. It shifts your gaze and opens the door. Then ask, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? What did He show you? What did you hear or see? Ask Him, Lord, what do you want me to do with this? Then pause, breathe, listen. His voice may sound a lot like your own thoughts, but don't dismiss it. Now that you're aware, pay attention. Don't partner with what keeps you out of heaven's reality. Do you need a safe place to practice this lifestyle with others? You're so invited to join my upcoming Prophetic Art Encounter Masterclass. It starts tomorrow, but if you're hearing this later, you can join the waitlist for the next time I do that. Let's take the door stoppers out together. Let's pause, listen, feel, and breathe. Breathe deeply of His immense love. You were never meant to just visit heaven. You're never meant to wait until after you die. You were made to live there now, with Him, starting now. I bless you to walk boldly through that open door. See you next week as we explore these door stoppers one by one. And remember, you are not alone. You are so deeply loved. And remember to subscribe and share this with a friend who might benefit too. I love you, beloved. I'll see you soon.